Facts on Jordan Valley, Socioeconomics and Demography. OCHA briefing paper states, under international law, Israel, as an occupying power, has an obligation to protect the civilian population and to administer the territory for their benefit. This includes respecting their human rights and ensuring that their basic needs are met. The demolition of civilian Palestinian homes, as well as the transfer of Israeli settlers into the occupied territory, are strictly prohibited and must be brought to a halt. A B'Tselem briefing on the Jordan Valley states, all these measures are adopted with a view to making the residents of Palestinian communities in the Jordan Valley leave their land and homes and to thwart Palestinian development in the region. The overall goal of this policy is to tighten Israel's grip over the Jordan Valley and further the de facto annexation of this area to Israel's sovereign territory while exploiting its resources. The Jordan Valley in the occupied Palestinian territory has the potential to be the breadbasket of a future Palestinian state. As per map, the Jordan Valley for this fact sheet is considered the area from the northern tip of the Dead Sea up to the 1949 Armistice Line, Green Line, in the north of the West Bank. Other studies and publications include the northern Dead Sea area as part of the Jordan Valley. The Jordan Valley comprises over 1/3 of the territory of the West Bank, in the area of 3 governorates, Jericho, Nablus, and Tubas. Contains vital land and water resources for the natural expansion of Palestinian towns and cities. It has abundant water resources, including 1/3 of the underground water reserves in the West Bank, and has vast potential for agricultural, industrial, and tourism industries. However, the persistent expansion of Israeli settlements and other restrictions imposed by the Israeli authorities on Palestinian development and even their presence in the area have made life extremely challenging for Palestinian communities. Currently, there are around 38 settlements and outposts in the Jordan Valley, with a settler population of 11,679. As part of the incentives to encourage people to move to these so-called priority areas, settlers in the Jordan Valley are offered 70 dunams of land, extended tax breaks, housing subsidies, mortgage plans, and discounts on water, electricity, and other utilities. Most of the settlers that own farms or related factories are there for the economic incentives offered to them by the Israeli government due to their location, rather than for ideological reasons. The Palestinian population of the Jordan Valley prior to the Israeli occupation in 1967 was estimated at 320,000 people. Today, Palestinians their number approximately 58,239. Of the total area, only around 5% of the Jordan Valley is under full Palestinian control. The remaining 95% of the valley is designated Area C, which under the Oslo Agreement makes it under full Israeli control, where 45% is controlled by Israeli military and 50% is directly controlled by Israeli settlers. While Israeli settlers in the Jordan Valley cultivate 33,000 dunams of land with high government assistance and turn in around $133 million in revenue, 98.3% of Palestinian farmers have lost productive capacity due to Israeli restrictions in the Jordan Valley. Furthermore, limited access to Area C costs the Palestinian economy around $480 million per year and is responsible for the unemployment of 110,000 Palestinians. It is estimated that if Israeli restrictions on Palestinian development were removed, an additional 50 square per kilometer of the Jordan Valley could be cultivated, potentially adding a $1 billion a year to the Palestinian economy, or 9% of the gross domestic product. The Jordan Valley has the richest water resources in the whole of the West Bank. The Dead Sea, Jordan River, and other springs would be enough to provide water for Palestinians in the Jordan Valley and other parts of the West Bank. However, in violation of the international law, the Israeli occupation regime is denying Palestinians access to water so that the Palestinian share of drinking water and water used for agricultural purposes is shrinking dramatically. Forbidden to sink new wells or deepen existing ones as substitute for groundwater that is running dry. Deep wells and new wells are reserved for the Israeli settlements, which is one of the reasons for the dwindling of the Palestinian water supply. According to Miftah, while the average settler consumes 487 liters per person per day, most Palestinians in the Jordan Valley get 15 to 30 liters per person per day, which is less than the WHO recommended minimum of 100 liters per day. Since 1967, Israel has strictly prevented the drilling of Palestinian wells and has destroyed 140 Palestinian water pumps, while confiscating 162 agricultural water projects. The most affected by the Israeli policies of segregation, deprivation, and limited freedom of movement are the Bedouins of the Jordan Valley, who number around 50,000. They are mostly cattle herders who move from place to place looking for pasture and water for their herd. Most live in Area C of the valley, where they are not allowed to build permanent structures including homes and schools. As a result, they live in tents and tent-like structures and herd their cattle in very limited plots of land that are accessible to them. Due to lack of access to land and water, 79% of the Bedouins in Area C are food insecure. 93% of the children consume less than the recommended number of meals. 15% are underweight, and nearly one-third have stunted growth. The MOLG has submitted 111 proposed master plans to the Israeli Civil Administration, ICA. Only 3 master plans have been approved. 8 master plans are in the objection stage, and 85 master plans are under technical discussion with ICA. 62 master plans were submitted more than 18 months ago. There have been some discussions by the EU that projects or programs within submitted master plans should be implemented if after 18 months of submitting a given master plan there is no objections and/or responses from the ICA. Even though the Jordan Valley constitutes much of the agricultural wealth of Palestinians, 60,000 dunams of agricultural land is unavailable to Palestinians in the Jordan Valley. The UN Office of the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, OCHA, has estimated that additional transportation costs incurred by transporting Palestinian farm produce via routes that avoid the most problematic Israeli checkpoints amount to $1.9 million annually. This basically makes the produce uncompetitive and further threatens the livelihoods of the Jordan Valley communities and farmers.